Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Alan Berger. I'm a 3D digital fashion artist based in Vienna. I recently started doing tutorials on Patreon and I already uploaded a few posts with tutorials or digital assets and project files. I really hope there is something in it for you where you can learn something, and also from my upcoming posts in the future.
With this video series on how to create an oversized boxy t-shirt in CLO 3D, I want to give you a little preview of how my tutorials on Patreon look like. If you enjoyed, I'd of course be happy if you join. Generally, I will upload more videos on YouTube as well from time to time, and I'm more than happy if you subscribe. On a little side note, this is my Instagram channel where you can see the stuff that I'm usually doing that you can check out. I appreciate your follow there too. And you'll find the download link to the project files of the t-shirt that we're building in this series in the description below. And if you're into the physical version of the t-shirt, you'll also find a link to it below. So let's start by adding an avatar from our library. In this case, I will use Jinho. I double click. The avatar is added. So now we are going to start creating the pattern. I choose the polygon tool, clicking around the center of the shoulder joints around here. Then we click here and drag and hold and make this around 15 to make this a nice and round shape. Then we click again, zoom in a little bit. We're gonna make this a drop shoulder t-shirt and go around here with 17 centimeters. Then we go down here and make this around like 26 centimeters. This is just my preference. Then click again. Then we go down here for about 40 centimeters. Okay, we click again. Then we go back to the center, which is an easy one. Then we go back to the center top neckline, which is about here. Okay, now we start. We created the first pattern half of that t-shirt. We can adjust the rounding by selecting this angle tool here, which comes from this point. As a next step, we are going to unfold this t-shirt by choosing the tool we choose the tool Edit Pattern and right click the center line and choose Unfold Symmetric Editing with Sewing to have symmetric editing on both sides as soon as we unfold this, as well as use the sewings on both sides identically. Okay, so we have unfolded this now. We can adjust the radius here and make it a bit rounder. So this becomes a nice round shape. You can play around here as you like, according to your preference and to your liking. And then we are going to copy and paste this for the back bodice piece. And here we need to move the back neckline a bit up, since this is the nature of a t-shirt. You can either use the arrow keys by moving up, which is 1 centimeter per key press, which I'm going to use here. And then I moved it like 3 to 4 centimeters up, and then I'm going to select the point upwards here again and adjust the curve here to make it look nice. Okay, cool. So we have the front and back pattern bodice pieces yet now, and now we can still do a little check and see. We take the back bodice and we just turn it. You know, this might come surprising now, but we want to have, this is like a general rule of thumb from tailors, that we want to have a nice round shape here, which is almost okay, actually, I would say, but we can still like make a little adjustment maybe, or no, actually the rounding is actually pretty nice. If you want to turn this back, I think it is hard to turn it back and make it straight, but there's a little trick. We can select the pattern and choose the reset grain direction button here, and then it's straight, vertical, centered, and upwards again. Okay, now we still do a little more of adjustment to the front side of this pattern, since the front piece usually has a little bit of a greater how to say it, more curved shape than the back, since of the breast size that can vary. So we go to the curvature tool, and which you can also achieve by pressing C on the keyboard, and then we just pull this a bit inwards. Yes, and then we can also check if the curvature looks nice here. Yes, that looks actually quite nice. We can also pull this down a bit just to make it. Yes, now we have a nice shape, as you can see here. It's a nice U. Okay, we move this bit to the right again, and now we are going to add a sleeve. So we start by measuring the approximate length of this segment here in the front. This is 27 centimeters, and this is like 26. Okay, so then we go to the pattern rectangle creation tool, which is S on the keyboard. Then we just click once in the 2D pattern background, and we said we have 27 centimeters here. So we just start with, let's say 28, okay, just to make sure, and we make a height of 30 centimeters, 300 millimeters, and then I will move this button, this point, like a third of the whole length of the whole height, which is 300 mils lower. So a third would be 100 millimeters down. So I click this button and I drag this down and stay on the pink line and press the right mouse button. There we can now enter the distance manually, the moving distance, which is 100 millimeters, and then we are going to shape this as an S-curve, which is the way to create the pattern for the sleeves in real life. Okay, so for this we are going to select the segment with Z with the edit pattern tool, and then we split this segment in two, do a uniform split, and then we use the edit curvature tool with C again and make a little bit of an S shape. Let's see. Okay, this is a nice S shape. Okay, and now we are going to move this. We're gonna check the length of the two segments by selecting one segment and then the second one with shift, and then we have 302 millimeters, and here we have 271. So we need to reduce this a bit by actually selecting the segment and moving it to the left by 1, 2, and 3 centimeters. Let's check the approximate size again, 284. Okay, we move it a bit inwards still. Okay, now we have 278, 271. Okay, we're gonna make a few adjustments here to actually get down to the 271. Let's see how we can get there. Okay, move this a bit to the left still. Gonna make this curved shape smoother here. Let's see if we can achieve that. Okay, what's the length now? 273. Okay, move this a bit up to make it smoother. How much do we got? 274. Okay, move this up again. You see it's a little bit of a process to actually get to that approximate length. It doesn't need to be perfect, but the closer you get, the better the results will be, since you can imagine you need to sew these two parts together, and if one end is longer than the other one, it doesn't fit. Okay, so I'm gonna move this inwards for another 2 millimeters, make this a nice curve again. Okay, let's check. 270.6, and here we have 271.1, so a 0.5 mil. Okay, I think we're getting there. 271.5. Okay, that's nice. We're gonna lock that in now for now. Let's see. Then we're gonna move this part a bit inwards, like let's say 20 mils exactly. Okay. And as a next step, we are going to unfold this, and then we are going to reveal if this shape actually looks nice. We use unfold pattern outline only, or no, we use unfold since we don't want to have to be this as a symmetric pattern, since we have two different lengths, right? So this is 26.24 centimeters and this is 27.1. So we're gonna adjust this here as well. Gonna make this a bit shorter. So 26.4 we said, right? So we have 26.7. Okay, we're gonna adjust this through the curves. .8. Okay, you see this is like a little of a process, and now we can still need to adjust this curve now. Okay, then we need to check the length again. 27.1. Okay, that's still fine. It's 0.1, and this is 26.38. 26.24. Okay, we're gonna shorten this a bit. Okay, now the calculation doesn't work anymore. The addition. Okay, it's okay, we can also see the if we select this segment and this segment, it also adds up here. So 2628, we have 2628, 2624, that's fine, 271.1 and 271.0. Okay, the tolerance here is nice. The shape is looking nice as well now for the sleeve. Okay, so for now we are going to create the second sleeve in a second, but as a next step we are going to sew these parts that we already have together. And if you go into the monochrome surface mode, you will see you have a brighter area of the pattern and a darker area. This is the outside face of this pattern, and this is the inside face of this pattern. So To put these patterns onto the avatar, we either select the avatar display option, show arrangement points, or we press Shift F, which we do here. And then we are going to select our pattern, our front pattern, and choose one of these points to actually align it approximately. And this point works quite well for that. The back bodice, it also flips it correctly, is added here. Then we are going to choose the sleeve and we're gonna place it here to this point. Okay, so, and now let's get to sewing. We're gonna press Shift F again to remove the arrangement points, to hide the arrangement points. And then we are going to the segment sewing tool, which is our tool to sew our pieces together. You can either sew things together in the 3D view, which is here. I'm gonna demonstrate this shortly. Click and click. Okay, this worked also with symmetric sewing on. That's nice. Then we are going to sew these parts. You also have a little preview on which segments you are sewing together in the 3D view. I'm gonna sew this here, and it automatically has sewn together the other side as well. And now we're going to use the free sewing tool, where we can somewhat sew things manually along the segment lines by pressing the hotkey M. Press M, choose the center point of the sleeve, follow the line, click again, press the shoulder point, and this blue dot indicates that this is the end point of the segment length that you are sewing here. So let's press this button. We have sewn this together now. Let's choose the back side. And the back side is all the way here on the right. Okay. And now what still remains is the sleeve ends, which we are going to use here, where we're going to use the segment sewing tool again here. Click and click. Okay. And now to the rewarding part, we're going to simulate the sewing process pressing this arrow or pressing the space bar. And I'm going to press the space bar, and I love this process. Okay, so this is the first version of the t-shirt, and now we are going to add the second sleeve to the opposite side. Okay, and this is easily done by simply clicking the pattern, sleeve pattern, right click, and then we're gonna choose symmetric pattern with sewing. And we're gonna move this to the right side here, and then like magic, this pattern appears here, and you can press simulate again, and it sews this together. Okay, this looks quite nice as a little preview already of the t-shirt. Okay, so that's it for this chapter. See you in the next one, where we are going to create the collar, or also called neckline, and sew it to the t-shirt. Thanks for watching.